Welcome back, everybody, to yet another short video of what's going on. I am your host, Jacob Carlson, and just yesterday we went to see another movie in the theater known as Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I know, it's a very long title, and it's no doubt the title of this video as well. And before I get into my very brief review of the new Apes movie, I want to read off a list of the entire franchise leading up to this point right now. So bear with me. Planet of the Apes didn't come out of nowhere. It's a full-blown science fiction franchise that's been around since the 1960s. Specifically, it started in the form of a book of the same name, which was released back in 1963. Then a couple years later, it was turned into a movie known as Planet of the Apes in 1968. Because of its critical success, it actually spawned at least 4 sequels: Beneath the Planet of the Apes in 1970, Escape from the Planet of the Apes in 1971, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes in 1972, and of course, Battle for the Planet of the Apes in 1973. Because of the critical success of all 5 movies at that point in time, they decided to make a television series just called Planet of the Apes in 1974. It didn't really do well on television, and it worked better as a movie, essentially, long story short. Return to the Planet of the Apes was an animated series, a cartoon that premiered only on 1975. And if you were a kid back then and you still didn't watch the show, you'd be forgiven for not seeing it at all back then either. So there you have it on that. There was a documentary that was released in 1998 called Behind the Planet of the Apes, as in behind the scenes, looking into the entire history of the production of the Apes franchise up to that point. And it's one of my favorite documentaries to watch to this very day. With the dawn of the new millennium, in 2001, a remake of the franchise was released just called Planet of the Apes. Since the director of that movie was not a big fan of sequels, it was just a one-time deal, and we didn't really see what would happen next. So it got mixed reviews here and there, but overall, I still enjoyed it. And then a couple years later, in 2011, Planet of the Apes would get a proper reboot, this time known as Rise of the Planet of the Apes, released in 2011. Its sequel, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, would be released in 2014, and of course, the conclusion of what now is a trilogy is War for the Planet of the Apes, released in 2017. And for the longest time, it was one of the greatest reboot series to ever exist in modern film history, essentially. So basically, up to that point, Planet of the Apes was a full-blown franchise, already rebooted, a television series, an animated show, and even a documentary talking about its production. And it all got started with a book that, according to the author, didn't really find it to be much of a success in the first place. So, if you can believe that. So a couple years later, we end up seeing Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, released this year in 2024. Me and my dad went to go see it. At the time of this video, we went to go see it just yesterday, and I'm currently still processing my thoughts on exactly what we watched. If you're following the reboot trilogy, Rise, Dawn, and War of the Planet of the Apes, Kingdom, the new movie that just came out, immediately follows the events of the last movie that came out in 2017, and it quickly does a time jump 300 years into the future, where essentially, long story short, apes have evolved to become the dominant species on the planet Earth, and which is why it's called Planet of the Apes in the first place, if you were still confused by that. And the human beings have reverted to be sort of cavemen, essentially. They lost their ability to speak, and of course, and that becomes basically one of the plot points altogether. So, Planet of the Apes is definitely one of the most exciting franchises I've watched, especially being a young teenager at the time. I watched the 5 original movies on DVD. I watched the documentary also on DVD. So that's how I got into it in the first place. And of course, being on YouTube, I was looking for reviews for the new movie of the Planet of the Apes movie that we just went to see. And sure enough, on YouTube, there's a YouTube channel that goes by the name of Ape Nation, which it just got started last year, and this guy does in-depth analysis and deep dives into all things apes. essentially a review of the entire franchise as a whole, how he personally discovered it, and all the other movies that are yet to be. So I'd recommend the YouTube channel Ape Nation, APE space NATION, Ape Nation. I recommend the YouTube channel Ape Nation to anyone who wants to know more about Planet of the Apes franchise altogether. So basically, that's it on that. Planet of the Apes is one of my most favorite franchises to keep watching. It's completely underrated, and I'd recommend it to anyone who still hasn't watched it. And if you're only watching the 1968 original, quite frankly, folks, you are missing out big time. And with that being said, my name is Jacob Carlson. This is my final update for this year. There will be more in the near future. That was also my brief movie review of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. It was very brief, but I also gave you a list of the entire franchise as well. So be sure to like the video, comment something you like or don't like. If there's something about Planet of the Apes that you like or don't like, please do not hesitate to let me know down in the comment section of this video or any of my videos. Please press the red subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a future upload on my video on my channel anytime soon. And as always, I would ask that you please share the video with all the people you know and love on social media, wherever you get your information and entertainment these days. And as always, I would ask that you please take care of each other out there, be nice to one another, and as always, I will see you in the next couple of videos. Okay, take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.